In 1996, a postal worker named Theodore Johnson retired with over $70 million. He never earned more than $14,000 a year. He never inherited money. He never started a business. He never picked a winning stock. He simply took 20% of every paycheck he ever earned, starting from his very first job, and put it into United Parcel Service stock through a program his employer offered. He reinvested every dividend automatically. He never touched it. $14,000 a year, 20% saved, reinvested automatically. $70 million at retirement. That story is real. It happened, and the exact mechanism Theodore used, the one most people scroll past without understanding, is more accessible today than it has ever been in history. Today I'm going to show you exactly what it is, how it works with as little as $50 a week, and the 5 specific stocks I would use in 2026 to build a portfolio designed to pay you every single month for the rest of your life. I want to start with Ryan, 27 years old, customer service job, $47,000 a year. After rent, groceries, car payment, and utilities, Ryan had about $200 left each month. Not $2,000, $200. He watched videos about investing, read articles, felt like none of it applied to someone with $200 left over at the end of the month. One evening he did one calculation that changed everything. He asked, if I invest just $50 a week, that's $2,600 per year, into dividend stocks and reinvest every dollar those stocks pay me, what does that look like in 20 years? The answer stopped him cold, at a conservative 9% average annual return, lower than the S&P 500's verified 30-year historical average of 10.1%. His $2,600 per year becomes $155,000 in 20 years. But here's what actually stopped him. The dividends that portfolio generates by year 20, approximately $620 per month, every month, without working, from $50 a week that he started when he was 27. Ryan set up his first automatic investment that same night. He's been adding to it every week since. That's what this video is about. Not theory, not someday. $50 a week. Before we get into the strategy, we need to understand why most people never start. And it's not because they don't know they should invest. Everyone knows they should invest. The problem is a system that profits from keeping your money in motion, spent, borrowed, consumed, rather than quietly compounding. Credit card companies charge an average of 20.97% interest in 2026. They need you buying things you can't afford. Subscription services are engineered to auto-renew forever. Retailers run sales designed to create urgency that doesn't exist. Social media shows you a lifestyle that requires constant consumption. The result? The average American saves less than 5% of their income. Meanwhile, the top 10% of wealth holders own 93% of all stock market assets. The gap between those two groups is not intelligence. It is not income level. It is one behavior, repeated consistently over time: automatic investing. Before the money can be spent, the system wants your $50 a week. Every streaming service, delivery app, and impulse purchase is competing for exactly that 50. This video is about redirecting it. So why dividend stocks specifically? Why not just buy the S&P 500 and call it done? Both work, but dividend investing has a psychological edge that makes it uniquely powerful for people just starting out. When the market drops, and it will drop, regular investors watch their portfolio value shrink and feel the urge to panic and sell. Dividend investors experience something different. Even when the stock price falls, the dividend check still arrives. Realty Income Corporation has paid its dividend every single month since 1994. Through the dot-com crash, through 2008, through March 2020 when markets fell 34% in 5 weeks, that check kept coming. For a beginning investor, that consistency is not just financial, it's psychological armor. It gives you a concrete reason to hold when every headline screams to sell. And holding, staying invested through every crash, is the single behavior that separates wealth builders from wealth destroyers. Beyond psychology, dividends provide a second engine of growth. The S&P 500's historical average yearly return is 10.42% over 100 years. Dividends account for approximately 30% of that total return. When you reinvest those dividends automatically, buying more shares which generate more dividends which buy more shares, you're running both engines simultaneously. The snowball gets bigger every single revolution. This automatic reinvestment is called a DRIP, a Dividend Reinvestment Plan. Here's exactly how it works in 2026. You own shares in a company that pays dividends. Instead of receiving that dividend as cash, your brokerage automatically uses it to purchase additional shares. Those additional shares generate their own dividends, which buy more shares, which generate more dividends. The math compounds in a way that feels impossible until you actually watch it happen. Simple example using real current numbers. Johnson & Johnson, a dividend king, with 62 consecutive years of increasing its dividend, currently yields approximately 3.1%. You invest $5,000 in J&J, year one dividend, approximately $155. That $155 automatically buys more J&J shares. Those shares pay dividends next year, which buy more shares. Boring, invisible, unstoppable. Over 20 years at a 9% combined return, that initial $5,000 alone becomes approximately $28,000 without you doing anything after the first purchase. Now add $50 per week in ongoing contributions and 4 other carefully chosen stocks alongside J&J. That's where Ryan's numbers come from. That's where Theodore Johnson's $70 million came from. The mechanism is simple. The discipline to leave it alone is the hard part. Here are the 5 stocks I would build a DRIP portfolio around in 2026. Each one was chosen using 3 criteria. First, dividend consistency. Has this company paid and grown its dividend through multiple recessions? Second, dividend yield in 2026. Is the current yield competitive? Third, business durability. Will this company still exist in 20 years? Stock 1, Johnson & Johnson, J&J, Dividend King, 62 consecutive years of dividend increases. Johnson & Johnson manufactures pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and consumer health products. People need medicine and medical devices regardless of what the economy is doing. That necessity creates one of the most durable cash flows in the entire stock market. Current dividend yield, approximately 3.1%. Consecutive years of dividend increases, 62 years. Category Healthcare Dividend King. This is the foundation stock. The anchor. It will not make you rich quickly. It will make you rich reliably. Stock 2, Realty Income Corporation O, the monthly dividend company. 30-plus years of monthly payments. Realty Income owns over 15,600 properties. 7-Eleven, Dollar General, Walgreens, FedEx are tenants. Their lease structure means tenants pay property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Realty Income simply collects rent, month after month. Current dividend yield, approximately 5%. Payment frequency, monthly, 12 checks per year. Category REIT, MH. High yield income. This stock pays you every single month. For a beginning investor watching dividends arrive, monthly payments create the behavioral reinforcement that keeps you invested long term. Stock 3, Chevron, CVX, 39 consecutive years of dividend increases. Current yield 3.8%. Energy is not going away. The world still runs on oil and gas and will for decades regardless of renewable energy growth. Chevron's balance sheet is strong enough to fund its dividend below $50 per barrel of oil. It has survived every energy cycle for nearly 40 years while raising its dividend every single year. Current dividend yield, approximately 3.8%. Consecutive years of increases, 39 years. Category Energy, Dividend Aristocrat. Stock 4, Procter & Gamble, PG, Dividend King. People buy Tide, Pampers, and Gillette regardless of recessions. P&G sells things people don't stop buying when times get hard. Soap, diapers, shampoo, toothpaste. This is called consumer staples, and it's the category that holds its value best when markets crash and panic sets in. Current dividend yield, approximately 2.4%. Consecutive years of dividend increases, 68 years. Category Consumer Staples, Dividend King. Stock 5, SCHD, Schwab US. Dividend Equity ETF, the diversification engine of the portfolio. Rather than picking one more individual stock, the 5th position is an ETF that owns the 100 highest quality dividend stocks in America, screened for financial strength, dividend growth, and sustainability. Current dividend yield, approximately 3.5%. Holdings, 100 high-quality dividend-paying U.S. companies. Expense ratio, 0.06%. nearly free to own. Category: Dividend ETF diversification. SCHD gives you instant exposure to companies like Coca-Cola, Verizon, Texas Instruments, and Lockheed Martin, without the risk of any single stock failing. This is the safety net of the portfolio. 5 stocks, 1 portfolio. Blended yield of roughly 3.5%. Now let's see what that actually builds over time, because this is where everything we just covered starts to look like something you can retire on. Now, let's run the actual numbers. $50 per week, $2,600 per year, invested equally across all 5 positions. All dividends automatically reinvested. Conservative assumed total return 9% annually. That is below the S&P 500's verified 30-year average of 10.1%, so these projections are deliberately conservative. Year 1, total invested $2,600. Portfolio value with growth, approximately $2,730. Annual dividends generated, approximately $85. Year 5, total invested $13,000. Portfolio value, approximately $16,200. Annual dividends, approximately $530. Monthly dividend income, approximately $44. Year 10, total invested $26,000. Portfolio value, approximately $40,800. Annual dividends, approximately $1,350. Monthly dividend income, approximately $112. Year 15, total invested $39,000. Portfolio value, approximately $85,000. Annual dividends, approximately $2,800. Monthly dividend income, approximately $233. Year 20, total invested $52,000. Portfolio value, approximately $155,000. Annual dividends, approximately $7,440. That's $620 per month. Monthly dividend income, $620 every month. Year 25, total invested $65,000. Portfolio value, approximately $260,000. Annual dividends, approximately $12,480. Monthly dividend income, over $1,000 every month. Year 30, total invested $78,000. Portfolio value, approximately $430,000. Annual dividends, approximately $20,640. Monthly dividend income, $1,720 every month. Every month, from $50 per week, from an investment that most people spend on coffee, subscriptions, and things they forget they bought. And remember, this assumes 9% returns. The actual S&P 500 30-year average is 10.1%. With 10.1% returns, these numbers are significantly higher. The math is not the obstacle. Time is not the obstacle. The only obstacle is starting. Let me address the 3 things you're probably thinking right now. Objection 1. 30 years is too long. I need money now. Here's what 30 years actually looks like. If you are 25 today, you are 55 at year 30. Still working age, still healthy, with $1,720 arriving every month from investments that require 0 hours of your time. If you are 35 today, you are 65 at year 30, right at traditional retirement age, with a portfolio generating passive income on top of whatever else you've built. 30 years sounds like forever when you're looking forward. It passes whether you invest or not. The question isn't whether you can afford to wait 30 years. The question is whether you can afford to waste them. Objection 2. What if the market crashes? The market will crash. Multiple times over 30 years. It crashed in 2000, in 2008, in 2020. Every single time, it recovered. Every single time, it reached new highs. And here's what most people miss about crashes. When the market drops 30%, your $50 per week buys 30% more shares than it did before the crash. You are not losing when the market drops. You are buying on sale. The investors who panicked and sold in 2020 when markets fell 34% in 5 weeks missed a 100% recovery and new all-time highs within 12 months. The investors who kept their automatic investments running bought the lowest prices of the decade. Objection 3. I don't have $50 a week. Start with $25 per week. The math at $25 per week over 30 years still produces a portfolio worth over $215,000, generating $860 per month in dividends. Start where you are. Increase contributions every time your income grows. The amount matters less than the consistency. Here's exactly what to do after this video ends. Step 1. Open a brokerage account if you don't have one. Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard. All zero commission, zero account minimum, fractional shares available. Takes 15 minutes. Step 2. If your employer offers a 401k with a match, contribute enough to get the full match first. That is an immediate 50% return on your money. No investment on earth matches that. Step 3. Open a Roth IRA. Contribute up to $7,500 in 2026. Your investments grow completely tax-free. When you withdraw in retirement, zero taxes. On decades of compounding growth. Step 4. Set up automatic weekly transfers, $50 or whatever you can, into your chosen positions. Equal split across all 5 stocks to start. Step 5. Turn on DRIP, Dividend Reinvestment for every position. Every brokerage offers this. It takes 1 click per stock to enable. Step 6. Do not touch it. Check it quarterly at most. Set it, forget it. Let it compound. The entire setup takes less than 2 hours. The results compound for decades. Theodore Johnson, the postal worker with $14,000 a year and $70 million at retirement, didn't have access to something you don't have. He didn't have superior intelligence or unusual discipline. He had one belief that most people never develop. That small, consistent, automatic action, taken over long periods of time, produces results that look impossible from the outside. Ryan, 27 years old, $200 left at the end of each month, set up his first $50 weekly investment and felt almost nothing. $50 feels small, it feels almost pointless. But in 20 years, when $620 arrives in his account on the first of every month, without him doing a single thing, he'll trace it back to one Tuesday night when he ran one calculation and made one decision. That's the invisible nature of this strategy. It doesn't feel like it's working, until one day it clearly is. The gap between people who build wealth and people who wonder where their money went is not income, it is not intelligence, it is not luck. It is the decision to make investing automatic before the money can become something else. $50 a week, 5 quality stocks, 1 click to enable reinvestment, decades of patience. Theodore did it on $14,000 a year. Ryan is doing it on $47,000 a year. The only question is whether you'll start tonight or keep waiting for a better time that never actually arrives. Start tonight. Your future self will thank you in ways you cannot yet imagine. If this video helped you, subscribe for weekly videos on building real wealth through simple, consistent, unglamorous habits that actually work.